Howdy folks, Sapper here, aka Sean, and I'm bringing you another Next War World War III video. This is going to be Turn 6 Part 2.5. Now, I previously posted Part 2.5, and the reason I did that is because it was all going to be Part 2. However, the video was looking to be like an hour and a half long, and I just didn't want to post an hour and a half video. I'd rather have broken that up into two separate videos. So I did that, but I didn't have an intro to Part 2.5, so this is going to be a post-recorded intro to Part 2.5. And also, after watching Part 2.5, I realized that it just the ending was just very abrupt, right? I forgot to add the very last video to it, so I'm having to re-edit it. So this is going to be the amended Turn 6 Part 2.5. If you have already watched the original Part 2.5, probably the last, I don't know, because I don't have the last video up, but it's probably going to be skip to the last probably 5 minutes of the video, and you will get to see what I didn't previously include. But other than that, the only changes between the original Part 2.5 and this one are going to be the intro and the very end of the video. So there you have it. Alright, so I've decided to do two combats in Taiwan. The Chinese, because it is their combat segment right now. So one of them is going to be here. What air base is that? Luhu? I don't know. Something like that. And then of course you got this urban hex over here, one of the urban hexes of Taichung. This one's probably not going to go well. The Chinese don't have very favorable odds, but I think it's getting to the point now that if they keep waiting for more units to get in, they're going to wait too long, and the Allies' air support is only getting better. So if you look over here, you can kind of see I kind of wrote down all the DRMs and all the column shifts and everything. So it's looking like we're going to be on the 2-to-1 column. They have +2 column shifts, 1 column shift for efficiency rating, and they did cyber warfare. I moved the tokens out of the way, but they were successful in their cyber warfare efforts, even though the Taiwan cyber warfare tried to oppose it, but they were not. That one was not successful. So we threw up some air support. China they're done. They don't have any planes left to fly any kind of air missions. They've used them all. And so they used one over here and they used one over here. But that one was unfortunately aborted. The Taiwan Air Defense Network is just getting better along with the air superiority. We threw an A-10 in there, the Allies did, and that reminded me of the one A-10 several episodes back that engaged in a dogfight and was successful. Flew through the air defense, managed to fight off interceptors and then fly through the air defense network and all that and have a successful run. And I think it was let me go look real quick. I want to make sure I get the name right. So Robert said, hey man, that guy should get the Distinguished Flying Cross or whatever the equivalent is. By using this A-10, it reminded me of that, right? So unfortunately, it's not the same A-10 because I looked at I went back and looked at the video, and the pilot rating on the A-10 that got that did all those heroic maneuvers was a pilot rating of 0. I only have one A-10 with a pilot rating of 0. So unfortunately, this is not the A-10 that did that. But what I did do is he didn't get the Distinguished Flying Cross, but he did get an Air Medal. So an Air Medal is a lesser medal for acts of bravery and heroism and all things of that nature. So it's a lesser level. It's like, a bronze star or a silver star. Like the silver star is a higher level of an award that you would give for bravery or heroism. So I did award the A10 the air medal, so I'll keep it underneath that A10. I don't know if you can see that. I'll keep it underneath that A10 to remind me that he does have an air medal. And what it will do, let's see if we can see that on the back. What I'll allow it to do is it'll give that particular aircraft a +1 or a -1 for a die roll, right? Some die rolls we want to have a positive, in our favor. Some die rolls we want to have a negative in our favor. So I will use that air medal whenever I use that A10 to give a + or -1 per engagement. So they can only use that once during an engagement. So they could use it to modify their pilot rating from a 0 to a -1. Or they could use that +1 to help successfully dodge or evade a SAM or AAA attack, or give you a +1 to detection, something like that. That's what I'm going to use it for. So anyway, let's get back to what's going on. So got off on a little tangent there, but those kind of things happen. So you can see over here, so this plane was aborted. This A10 was successful. So here's all of our DRMs. So -2 for the surface action group, which is here. He's got a range of 2, so that would be 1, 2. So we can support that particular attack. -1 for remainder, +4 for the A10. -1 for attacking from 3 hexes, +1 because there's more than one formation involved. Now that is a DRM that only affects non-US, non-NATO stuff. So when it's all said and done, we have +2 column shifts and a +1 die roll modifier. We are on the 2-to-1 column in urban. So let's see, the 2-to-1 column in urban, which is definitely not good, right? Like I didn't want to be there, but we get +2 column shifts to the right, so that puts us to the 4-to-1 column in urban, which is the 7 column if you're looking at your handy dandy combat results table. So, and we have a +1 to the die roll. So let's go ahead and roll. And that's about, we couldn't have asked for a better roll. So let's see. So it's a 0. That actually turns into a 1. So that will be 1 step loss for the defenders and a retreat. Now they're in urban, so they can voluntarily ignore the retreat results if they pass an ER check. So we'll go ahead and take that. Do I want to take that from the... I'm going to take that... Dang it. I'm going to take that step loss from the infantry. The poor bloody infantry. So I think the ER check has to be from the lowest ER in the group, which would be that... Actually, then I would want to do it from... I didn't declare the lead unit. That's the problem. Actually, the lead unit would be one of these guys. So, because I wanted the 5 ER rating. So we're going to take it from the blue. Because the blue has the farthest away headquarters. That's really the only reason. So we have to pass an ER check of 4. So we need to roll lower than a 4 to avoid retreating. And we did that. So those guys get to stay there. And that's that. So that actually went pretty well. So this was the lead unit for the... That was just my way of telling me who the lead unit for the Chinese was. So, well, the Chinese get the best result they could possibly have. Unfortunately, they did not retreat, which is what we wanted. We want to get them out of Taichung. Once we get the foothold in Taichung, it'll be... that'll be a good thing for China. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. So now over here... we have 2-to-1 odds with a +2 column shift to the right, so we're attacking here, right? Both of these units are reduced. I should have moved more guys in here, but again, I was being very reserved with China. I was thinking, okay, we're going to stop focusing so much over here and focus more over on Taichung, because honestly, that port that's over here is important, and then getting those urban areas are worth victory points as well. So I was like, I'm going to hold off over here. But then I decided, well, hey, both these units are reduced. Let's just go ahead and attack them. I should have moved in units there, but I did not. And I don't want to tie units up trying to clear that either, at least not at the moment. So anyway, we have, let me see, what can I see on here? All right, I can see all that. So we had this is where the last Chinese close support aircraft that we had available. They were detected by ADF. Of course, they took some SAM fire, so that gives them a +1. So the support value is a 3, but because of the +1, it's only a 2 now. So this plane and this plane basically equal out, because this one's contributing a -2 DRM and this one's contributing a +2 DRM, so evens out. We have a remainder, and then of course the Allies are in an installation and a town, because right there you can see town and installation, so that's +1 each. So it looks like a +1 DRM, 2-to-1 on the flat, with 2 column shifts to the right, puts us on the 11 column, which is a good column for the Chinese. But we have a +1 to the die roll, so that's a 5. And that is 1 step loss in a retreat. So we will lose this guy, and then this guy, he has to retreat 2 hexes. So we will go 1, 2. And this is what I didn't want to have happen. Now these guys have to advance, right? You have to advance. So unfortunately, the bad thing about that advance is they have to clear that, because there's an installation there. So now they won't be able to, of course they defend normally, which is okay, but now that is just basically leaving them kind of open to all of this. All right, so we've got, what do we got here? Both of these are reduced. That's not that bad, but then we've got 3 stacks of pretty good stuff with stuff behind them too. So I wasn't thinking ahead, but hey, you know what? Those lapses in judgment happen not only with individuals playing war games, but with people that are actually leading real life armed forces. Those kind of things do happen. So let me just chalk that up to, this is a simulation of real life, right? So there you have it. Oh, so what do? We lost a, how many? That's a brigade, so that is +1 VPs for China. And that will wrap everything up for Taiwan. Now I got to go over to Korea and Vietnam and see what's going on over there. All right, so I have just finished up doing the calculations for all the combats that I want to do in Korea. Whew, I'm tired of even looking at them, man. It's just so many. It's a lot. It's almost like work. But anyway, so let's go over them, and I'll roll them live, kind of. I'll roll them live so that you guys can see it. All right, so let's start from the east and work to the west. So we're working from the coast and we're heading into Seoul. There's only going to be one in Seoul, and it's the big one, right? So all these down here, they don't really matter so much. You know, they're small gains, but I mean, North Korea is slowly pushing south. So right here, lead unit, it looks like I'm getting 49 to 17, which is 2-to-1 odds. We have a total of +3 column shifts in the North Koreans' favor. Efficiency rating, artillery brigade, successful cyber attack. It looks like, what is that? It's a, those cancel out. So -1 for remainder, +1 for airfield, -1 for multi-hex, +1 for multi-formations, because we're using the 806th Corps and the 12th Corps. So when you do multi-formations, they're not used to working together, right? Looks like all of those cancel out, and then we have +3 from close air support. So we did send up some escorts which weren't needed because they were not detected, mostly due to the storm weather. So it will be a, where are we at? We are at the 2-to-1 in Highland Woods. 2-to-1, so that's the 7 column. And then we have, what do we have? We have +3 favorable column shifts, so that gets us to the 10 column in Highland Woods with a +3 DRM. That's terrible. So that's a 12. That is 1 loss for the attackers and nothing for the defenders. That is definitely, so the air support, well, that guy's killed. He was the lead unit, had to come from the lead unit first. So that is a brigade. I believe a brigade is 1 point. Yep, 1 victory point for the Allies. That sucks. Gotta say, I'm a little disappointed with those results, but hey, whatever. I'm a little disappointed as the North Koreans. Now, let me put my ally hat on and say that that was amazing. I'm glad that just happened. So, see how that works? You gotta wear 2 hats. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and do this one. Looks like it is gonna be 4-to-1. This is rough. 4-to-1 and rough with 2 column shifts. 4-to-1 rough. So that puts us on the 12 column, which is one of the really good columns that you want. It looks like we are going to, no, I didn't do any air support. Everybody's running out of air support right now. So, and besides, I didn't think I was going to really, as sad as this is to say, right? Like if I was a commander on the battlefield, is this guy worth sending up our limited air support assets to protect? It's a terrible thing to think about, right? But luckily these are only cardboard soldiers and not real ones. But I wouldn't waste the assets, unfortunately, trying to defend this guy. So it looks like it's on the 12 column with a -1. So we'll go ahead and roll it. That's a 2. That's what we needed on the previous attack. So that's 2 step losses and a retreat. Well, he's dead, so. So that is 1 victory point. That is, ooh, that's a division. I think divisions are worth 2 victory points. Oh, where is it? Why can't I find it? For each enemy division. Okay, so yeah, +2 victory points for the North Koreans. I knew it was around there somewhere. All right, now we can advance after combat. So these guys contributed to the attack. These guys could not because that is considered like a major river, lake, whatever you want to call it. These guys did. They attacked at half strength across that minor river. So what do we got in there? Yeah, we'll do that. And then actually we could throw that guy in there too, just in case they decide to get wise and attack back that way. All right, now we're going to attack this lonesome headquarters here that got surrounded. Could I sit there and do nothing and just kind of hopefully let the isolation cause them to surrender? Yeah, I could do that. But you know, we got that bloodlust in our eyes, right? We want to kill the enemy, destroy the enemy. That's, you know, we want to crush our enemies, see them driven before us, and hear the lamentations of their women, right? I think I got that quote right, so I'm sure that one of you faithful listeners, all 3 of you, will fact check me on that one. So 5-to-1 odds with a die roll -1 DRM for a remainder in the odds calculation. So that is, looks like Highland Woods. Highland Woods, 5-to-1. Is there an efficiency rating difference? Yes. So that puts us on the 11 column. That's a 1. So that is 2 step losses. So boom, eliminated. Now, what a headquarters is different as far as victory points. Enemy headquarters is 3 victory points. So we'll go ahead and advance that. There we go. Now, I don't know. I'd have to look because isolation happens so rarely in a game. If it's considered an eliminated unit for victory point purposes. That I don't know. I would imagine it is, but again, isolation happens so rare. It's one of those rules that you're not going to... It's not going to be in your head, you know. It's not one of those that's worth remembering, right? Unless it happens a lot. Doesn't happen a lot, so I'm not going to remember it. All right, here's the big one. Let's go to the big one. All right. So the big one here is this one. This is the one that we fought over before. So it looks like we've got the 26th Division, which is part of the 6th Corps. And then we've got the 81st Brigade, part of the 2nd Infantry Division right there. Those guys have been reduced. That's an American unit. I don't want to lose those, right? So that's what we're dealing with. We're attacking from here, 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 and here. So 4 hexes. I mean, the North Koreans are going all out, right? They really want this spot. It's going to be a moral victory as well as an actual victory just for taking out an American unit. I get 54-19. I did have it at 71-19, and then I was like, wait a minute, they're attacking into Highland, so that halves a lot of it halves the armor and the mechanized units, so I had to refigure it out. I think it's 54-19. Minus 2 column shifts for being in fortification, minus 2 column shifts for being in the city, plus 2 column shifts for artillery support. I supported with this artillery and this artillery. Yes, he can reach 1, 2, 3, 4. I decided to use chem, all right, because we need those plus 3 column shifts for because it reduces the efficiency ratings of both units in here. So he has an efficiency rating of a 3 basically. So I have a plus 3 efficiency rating. So I don't know why they just don't say plus 3 column shifts. But whatever. So it looks like we're going to get a plus 1 column shift. It looks like, I think it's 2-to-1 odds. So 2-to-1 odds. These are the DRMs. So let me get my book. So that's 2-to-1 in Highland. That's the 7 column. The plus 1 overall column shift puts us in the 8 column for Highland Wood. So that's basically 3-to-1 odds. Looks like we have -1 for remainder, -1 for multi-hex attack, plus 1 for multi-formation. There's 3 separate formations attacking in here because you even have that. Actually, you know what? So if there's 3 formations, I think that's a plus 2. So that would be plus 2. Plus 1 for fortification, that's plus 3. So it's an overall plus 1 DRM. We sent up air support for both of them. They were both detected. However, the SAM and anti-aircraft, well, there's no anti-aircraft fire, but the SAM fire is not effective because of the storm. So that would have been a -3. That would have been a plus 3. So these 2 planes, the aircraft equal out. So take a deep breath. So it's a plus 1 on the 8 column. So chances are this is probably not going to go well. Oh, let's do this. Let me get my viewfinder up so I can tell. Can you see that? Barely. Plus 1, 9, about as bad as you can get. So that's 2 losses for the attacker and 1 for the defender. So this guy was the lead unit, so he will take a step loss. Where was my lead unit? This guy, I know it was this guy right here. So that guy right there. So that's only that is a no. Actually, that's my big unit. I knew it wasn't him. It's this dude here. So they are only a 1-step unit. That's a brigade. So that's plus 1 VPs for the Allies. But I needed a 6 efficiency unit. I only have so many right there. I think they're all on that stack. And then I take one more step loss. Yeah, I think we'll do these guys because, yeah, golly, man, that sucks. All right, that's it for Korea. This is going to be a bloody fight, and I just used chemical weapons. That's +3 victory points for the Allies. So, looks like the Allies got 5 victory points in Korea this turn. So, yeah, there you have it. That is Korea. We'll go ahead and clean everything up here, and then we'll move on to Vietnam. Ooh, boy, that right there, boy. It's getting personal now. I really want to take that. But I'm glad the Americans are standing fast. We need to move that brigade out of there. We need to get a fresh brigade into there. Alrighty, so Vietnam was a lot easier to figure out what I was going to do as far as attacking goes, because there's only 2 places that I can really have any kind of success as the People's Republic of China. So we're going to attack this hex right here, the city of whatever it is, I don't know, Tuyen Chang. So these 2 units are in there. I just kind of got them spread out so I can see them. They don't have any headquarters support available. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this guy can't reach. So attacking it from 5 hexes, it looks like, so it's flat, so it's going to be 25-3. So all of these guys, everybody's participating. Of course, these guys are halved and halved because they're attacking across. Actually, you know what? God dang it. So that's 6. That's 8. 11. 14, 17, 18, 20. So 20. All right. So look, I'm glad I caught that. Well, doesn't really matter. 20-3. I wasn't going to throw in a headquarters, but I think I need to now. Nope, that's not it. Where is it? Right here. Nope, that's not it. I can't throw in a headquarters. Dang it. So 20-3 is going to be 6-1 odds. 6-1 odds in flat. Yeah, that's still good. Doesn't matter. Still the 13 column, which is the farthest column you can go. We would get 2 shifts left because there's a city there, but we have an efficiency rating bonus. The highest efficiency is 3, which is hidden. It's a -1 because of the strike marker. So I think this guy here is the lead unit. This guy here is the lead unit. It looks like we have a total of -1 DRM for remainder, -2 DRM for attacking from 5 or 6 hexes, and +1 for multi-formation. So that equals a -2. Where are my dice? There they are. -2. Ugh. Can you believe this? So that is a 7. That is 1 step loss for the defender. So luckily the attacker didn't get any step losses. Man, I'm telling you, we've had some combats here that should not have gone the way that they have. Why can't I get that? Okay, so that's done. Let's straighten that back out. Then the other one, is up here. So this is the rumble in the jungle. It's just jungle terrain. Looks like I think that's flat jungle. So both of these units are in there. Again, I just spread them out. Looks like it's 17-5, which is 3-1. 3-1 in the, what did I say that was? I think that's rough. But it's any jungle. So what did I say? 3-1, 3-1. +3 column shifts for ER. 1, 2, 3. So that puts us in the 11 column, which is the equivalent of 6-1 in jungle. Looks like we have -2 DRMs total. And we'll go ahead and roll. So that's a 6, which turns into a 4. So that is Attacker takes 1 step loss, defender takes 2 step losses and retreats. So it's the red text column. So if the defender cannot satisfy all the conditions, the attacker reduces attacker losses by 1. So you can take the 2 step losses, but you can't retreat. You can't satisfy that condition. So I'm going to say that the attacker doesn't suffer anything. So both of those guys are dead. That's 2 divisions. Which I think divisions are +2 victory points. So let me see here. Let's get this out of the way. We could now advance in there if we want. What is this guy? Yeah, I think all of us will go there. So everybody's going in. There we go. So that takes care of that. And that's it for the combat segment for all 3 theaters. The combat segment for the first player or the initiative player. So now it will be the movement and combat phase for the allies. So the first player, initiative player, happens to be the non-allies in all 3 theaters. So now it will be the movement and combat phase for all of the... Oh, you know what I got to do? I got to do naval surface combat, which there's plenty to do over there on the naval display. So I guess I need to go figure that out. All right, everybody. We are going to try to do some naval surface combat. So that's the last step of the combat phase for anybody. So the naval surface combat step, anybody can initiate combat. Doesn't have to be the initiative player or the first player or whatever. It can any side. So basically the way it works is undetected naval units simultaneously go. So if we look here, basically we're battling for the Taiwan Straits right now. So undetected naval units simultaneously go. So we have... Let me see. We have a SAG here that's undetected, and looks like 3 submarines that are undetected. So basically it's simultaneous. So they can attack anybody that's detected. So, for example, this submarine and this SAG can't attack each other because they're not detected yet, right? So, actually, this guy's technically undetected too. So we'll go ahead and, even though he's got a strike marker on him, we'll go ahead and flip him. So basically, it looks like this SAG is going to get the first go at whoever he wants to shoot at. Well, as long as it's detected. We have, by the looks of it, let's move this guy up here. We've got a U.S. SAG that's point detected with a strike 1, and we have a carrier with a strike 1 marker on it. So this is not going to be good for the U.S., right? So the SAG, once it attacks, it will get a point detection on it, right? So basically what we do is we do CIWS fire, CIWS, so it's the Naval AAA fire. We do that, and that's the DRM that goes towards the strike that this SAG is going to do. So he is going to try to hit this carrier, right? That's obviously going to be the target probably for almost everybody here. They want to take out an aircraft carrier. So for naval CIWS fire, it is a -2 for U.S. ships. U.S. carrier battle group has a AAA of 3. So we're going to roll on the AAA 3. Let me get my dice roller set up. So we're basically going to roll on the AAA of 3 with a -2. So that is a 4. So that is a +2. That shows up as a +2 in the column. So that'll be a +2 DRM to the strike that this surface action group is going to do. So it's considered a naval 2 on the advanced strike chart. So we're going to roll on that chart with a +2. And that is a 6. And that is just barely a miss. If it had been a 5, then it would have been a strike 1. So let's just make sure there are no other DRMs. So the Taiwan Straits is clear. Oh, wait a minute. There is a -1 for being point detected, because that carrier battle group is point detected. So that turns it into a 5, which is a strike 1. So they are going to take a strike 2. Well, now it will be a strike 2. No, that is a... Don't want that counter. So now it is a strike 2, and they have the option to retreat, which they are going to do because we cannot afford to lose an aircraft carrier. I believe it is, at least on the North Korean, you got the victory point chart on the map. It's like 20 points, 20 victory points for taking out a carrier battle group, U.S. carrier battle group. So he is going to leave because he doesn't want to get destroyed. This guy is now point detected. Now, all of these subs, I think these are the only subs in here, are these 4. So it's simultaneous, so now the subs get to go. Let me look here. What do we got? So we have a U.S. sub. Let me make sure I'm getting this right. The strike is conducted using the marker survivability value. So the survivability value is a 6. So it uses the survivability value halved, rounded down as the naval strike value. So that is a strike 3. So that'll be a naval 3. I think we will in turn, this sub in turn, will attack this carrier group. So the same thing's going to happen. We'll roll on the AAA. That's a Chinese. So that is a AAA value of 2. And there'll be a -1 to that. So that is a 2. So it looks like let me make sure I'm looking at this right. I think it's a +1. I'm sorry. Oh no, I'm sorry. It is a -1. So that is a 2. I'm confused as to what I'm doing. So that will be a +2 to this die roll modifier. Or actually, it is going to be... Alright, I confused myself for a second. But anyway, so it's a +2 on the naval 3. So that is an 8. And that is not good enough to do anything. So now we have to roll for survivability of that submarine. So basically we need to roll underneath that 6. But there's plenty of DRMs. So we have per SAG 1, 2, and CV. So that's +3. Nope, no air supremacy, no submarines. +4 to the die roll. So we need to roll underneath under a 6, so obviously that submarine survives. So basically we can move him kind of out of the way. He will flip back over. All right, so this Japanese submarine. So we have that. That's a 2.5 round down. So this will be a strike 2. We will again target that carrier. So the naval Sea Whiz fire, it's a 4. So that'll be a +1 to the die roll. And that is a 1, and that is on the naval 2. So that is a strike 1 marker. So this carrier, he is going to retreat. He's going to wisely retreat. So he is going to head back to the People's Republic of China. Now we have to do survivability. I think what did I say? It was a +4 to the die roll from the last one, so that's a 6. So I believe that sub is not destroyed. If the modified roll is equal to the survival value, the submarine receives a strike 1. And if it is more than the value but less than double, it receives a strike 2. So this submarine is going to receive a strike 2. And now he is done. All right, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, a submarine which receives a strike marker may immediately be placed in its nationality's holding box. It will do that. So this submarine is going to Japan. He's going to get out of there. Now, the Republic of China, the Taiwan subs, they have no holding box to go to. So he basically has no choice but to stand and fight. So he is going to be considered a naval strike 1. He is going to go after this SAG right here with the strike 1 marker on it. So it is a strike 1. Let's do the Sea Whiz fire +1. So that's 3. Man, I'm rolling really, really low on this stuff. So that is a Chinese surface action group with a AAA of 2. So that is a +2 to the attack. So we're rolling on the naval strike 1, and that will clearly miss. So now we have to do survivability. So again, it's a +4 to the die roll. So that's a 9. That's 3 times higher. So that submarine is destroyed and it's placed on the information display 3 turns ahead. So you go on the naval the display 3 turns ahead of our current turn, which is 6. So you go to turn 9. And then the last submarine we have is here. The Allies aren't faring too well here, so this will be a strike 2. Rolling for anti-aircraft fire. That's a 4. That will be a +1 on the strike chart. And that is a 2 on the naval 2. So that will be a strike 1. And I said I was going to hit this SAG, so that is now a strike 2. He's got a decision to make. There's only 1 ship left. Does he stand and fight, or does he get out of there? I think he will retreat back to the People's Republic of China. Let's see if this submarine survives. We have to roll less than a 4. We have a +4 to the die roll. So that's a 9. That is more than double. So this submarine goes to the turn track. I don't think there's any... I don't see anything in here about victory points associated with submarines because it's a supplemental rule thing. So I don't think there's anything involved. This guy will go back to unrevealed again. Now, all the guys that are detected get to fire. And it's simultaneous. So, chances are this surface action group is probably not going to survive because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 ships here that are 4 Chinese ships that all fire at the same time. So let's look here. We will go. I think we're gonna line these 2 up. So that'll be a simultaneous thing. Here we go. So we'll do the American one first, just because he's going to attack that Chinese SAG. So that was the anti-aircraft fire. There's going to be, that's too high on the chart, so he's not able to shoot down the incoming anti-ship missiles. So we rolled a 6 on the strike 1, and that is nothing. Now he will fire back. It'll be a -2, a AAA. What's an American SAG? That's a AAA of 2. -2, so that's a 0 on the... So his shot doesn't make it through. We were able to shoot down all the anti-ship missiles before they got there. So these two are still there. Now we can go ahead and we'll attack with a AMPH. He doesn't get to fire back because he's already shot, so it's just going to be, the AMPH's going to shoot. It is a 4 on the AAA, which means a +1 DRM. And that is a 7. That's a miss. So these guys have gone. These guys have gone. Looks like we've got 2 ships left. We'll go ahead and fire with that one. Ooh, he's going to have a minus, I believe, because he has strike markers on him. So the American SAG AAA is a roll of a 2. That'll be +2 to the DRM. He has a strike 2, which is another +2 to the DRM. So it'll be +4, but it's -1 because of the because he's point detected. So it's a +3 on the strike 1. So that'll be a 6, and that attack will miss. So these guys have gone, and we have 1 AMPH left. He's the brave one. He's got troops on board that he's trying to get into Taiwan, but so he will do the same thing. So that is a 3 on the AAA2. That'll be a +1 to the die roll. -1 because it's point detected, so straight up roll. And that will probably be enough to take out this SAG. So that's a 0 on the Naval 1. So that is a strike 1. So now you get a strike 2, and you will wisely retreat. So the Chinese were able to basically evict the Americans from the Taiwan Straits. So that's kind of a blow to the Americans. However, we have a surface action group over here that's ready, or a carrier battle group in the South China Sea that's ready to move in. We have a carrier battle group in the East China Sea that's ready to move in. So yeah, that didn't go very well for the Americans, but that's kind of naval surface combat in a nutshell. Let's go ahead and we're going to go down here and do this one. So it's going to be the Malaysians versus the Filipinos. It's simultaneous. Oh man, I closed up I don't need that. Never mind. Let me see. So it's going to be other SAG, so AAA of 2. So let's see if the Filipino ship shoots down the Malaysian missiles. So that is a 2. +2 DRM, so the Malaysians get a +2 to their advanced strike. So that is a 2 on the Naval 1. So this guy will take a strike 1 marker. Alright, I don't have any strike 1s, so we'll just have 2 strike 2s on there. And now, what was I doing? That was on that guy. He already had a strike 1. Now he will shoot back. Alright, so he was not able to shoot the missiles down at all. And that is a 6, so he missed. I think I got that right. I might have confused myself with these guys right here, but hey, it is what it is. That's what's going to happen. So I think that's all the naval surface combat we're going to do, because I think those are the only ships that are out there. So yeah, the Allies didn't fare very well in that. And I think that will wrap up this video. So we'll see you in, I think that was part 2, 6.2. So we'll see you in 6.3.